Hey everybody, it's Dave and Bo. Bo's inside relaxing today, so we're gonna head out to the yard and take a look at what's going on for this week. And it is bright, it is sunny. We had 2 days of overcast weather. I guess that's all the winter we're gonna get this year, because we sure didn't get much rain, even though we had like a 70% chance of rain. But the main things I did this week is I uncovered all the bricks that were hidden over the past several months. And I was fortunate enough to say that the bricks have actually stayed in a really good design. I was worried some of them may have been pushed in, but they held up really nicely this year. And I also pruned back a little bit the apricot, which was getting a little bit unwieldy. So I cut out branches that were headed off into my space where I'm standing right now, and also down from the eaves. I'm going to wait, of course, for the leaves to fall off to do the official pruning. But if you have crossing branches or plant stems that you know are going to be cut off, you can go ahead and do that now. Just nothing of the major pruning where you're going to be cutting the plant back about 30%. Other than that, next week I should be in this bed weeding and cleaning, because in less than 2 weeks, or right about 2 weeks, I'm going to be pruning all the roses back, and I really like to do that at the same time. You normally have about, at least in Southern California, about a 2-week window where you can prune. I usually go from December 1st through January 31st. Once we get into February here, it's actually starting to get pretty warm. So by then we've already got a lot of the plants leafing out. Look at that beautiful Leonotis flower, that just vibrant orange. And over here, not a whole lot has changed. Looking forward to pruning back that crabapple as well. That's done really well this year, and I can't wait for it to come into bloom next year as well. Now over here, up on the little bit of a hill, we did have the Chiananthus tree. That is all pruned back. Again, lower leaves kind of, pulled back a little bit more toward the stem. This will lose its leaves, and then again, looking forward to having that leaf out over the early spring with those beautiful white fringe-like blossoms. We've got the Pittosporum here and the Jatropha in the center. So a week later, that's still looking pretty good. The Clivia or Kaffir lily, Silver Dragon Liriope, and I'm definitely looking forward to pruning back the Japanese maple and shaping that. I think I'm going to be adding a few more back here as well. We'll see how that goes. Well, at least one more off to the left, kind of where those boards are leaning against the ivy. But I'd like to incorporate a few more of those throughout the yard. Got that beautiful heliotrope flower. Looking forward to cutting back the Gara and moving the Gara. Those beautiful Davallia leaves there. And of course, it's looking good in the hanging basket as well. The Euphorbia back there. Variegated. And now I can't remember. I think this is a type of Formium or flax. Those beautiful Boston ivy leaves although it's not Boston ivy, it is the same family. Burgundy glow ajuga. This one looks like it can be pruned back on the Japanese maple because all those leaves are gone. So I'll probably do that next week. One last blossom for the fall. But I did notice a lot of blossoms open today on this geranium here. And I did go to San Gabriel Nursery this morning and got a few plants. So I got some yarrow. Those are great for really sunny areas. Got some dragon's blood sedum. This is teucrium and begonia richmondensis. Then over here, the gray foliage is a plant I've wanted for a while. This is Russian sage. Pervoskia is the botanical name, and if you crush the leaves, it's a very spicy scent, almost like cinnamon. We've got this little corner alive and growing still, so I spent a couple weeks with that, so that's been a success. I thought we might lose this begonia at first, but it has come back. When I transplanted it, the bottom of the root ball just totally fell apart. So it wasn't rooted in all that well, and it did wilt for a few days, but with the cooler weather, it has done really nicely. Over here, Chamaecyparis primo. Again, one of the coolest plants, and we can definitely see now some of the leucojum clumps coming up, and so that gives me a little bit better idea where and where not to weed. And then this was one of my purchases from, I think, White Flower Farms in January. The Acorus or sweet flag that I transplanted, still holding up, and I think that was a good move. It was just too sunny up where that geranium is. Now over here in the nursery, this is Hemananthus, and that's going to open up in the next few days. Mostly you get it for the stamens because they're the showiest part. The flower is nice, but it's just white, and if I remember right, it's just 4 petals. A few narcissus coming up. The fig, which is cuttings from this fig up here. Flowering quince. This is lemon verbena. Looks like that other heliotrope plant we just saw, but this is Heliotropium. Look at that Chamaecyparis. And also that other beautiful begonia. So all of a sudden it seems I'm on a begonia kick lately. But also some cool ferns. The chocolate cosmos, which is very fragrant, smells like chocolate, and I have got to get those paper whites planted. And then I'm excited also to get this plant as well planted. I'm going to come around and show you the blooms there. So that is the same family as African violet. It is a relative of the Gloxinia, and it is something that is sun hardy, but it's not a true Gloxinia. Those need to be in the shade. And I think that's about all I was going to show you today. Bo has stayed inside, so I will give her your best wishes as well. The beautiful magnolia starting to get a lot of leaf drop to where you can kind of see through lots of parts of it, and I'm looking forward to pruning that sometime soon. So with that, I will see you all next week with another video.